Hi guys! Welcome to my first YouTube video. My name is Yumna and this is my sketchbook. Quickly before we start, I just want to say that this sketchbook is handmade, meaning that I did the binding, the hardcover, as well as the embroidery, which I created after watching the documentary Seaspiracy on Netflix. It always reminds me that the ocean is alive and we should protect it. I even did the bubbles as O2s in the front. I will be definitely doing a step-by-step tutorial on bookbinding, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, let's begin with the tour. In the first spread, I wanted to draw with ink the embroidery I did in the front, and with a lot more details. I also included the O2s. I'm just too proud of them. The type here is basically lettre set, which are typeface sheets that you scratch off with a pencil. They were used before the digital age. I got them from my mom. In case you were wondering, I use microns by Sakura all throughout my sketchbook. In this spread, I wanted to create a story with a wall with a lot of frames, and I was imagining the different members of a family. Maybe this could be an animation or something. I used watercolor and gouache, and I went over with the microns to do the line art. This is definitely one of my favorite spreads in the sketchbook. I love food illustration, I don't know why. I used mainly gouache. I used only gouache. I created like a perfect breakfast. This is my favorite, eggs and avocado. In the next spread, I drew a Lebanese style window and balcony in gouache. I love Lebanese architecture and I like to include it more in my art. In this spread, I was just experimenting with an ink I had. It was a watercolor ink by Ecoline, and I did my room and my view from my desk. It was also very hot in Lebanon, so I just drew a skull and wrote, "It's so hot in here." In here, I drew some old-looking radios that I saw on Pinterest. I drew them with my microns, black and white. On the right, this is my grandparents' phone. It really reminds me of them, and I drew it with gouache. I drew it from like many angles, so I was also practicing perspective. In this spread, sorry for the bad word. I was just not having it that day. It was very hot and I was very nervous about the situation, so I just went to my sketchbook and I also drew a bunch of apples. They give so much life to the spread. I'm actually really happy with how they turned out. In this spread, I have a drawing of a lot of things that annoy me in black and white, and then I just drew a tree with colors because I love trees and they're the only thing that brings me joy. I also here experimented with colored pencils, which I don't really use. Okay, so I drew myself holding Nutella, and during that time, a lot of things were getting expensive due to the crisis, so I just wrote, "Don't talk to me, I'm rich." I experimented here more with colored pencils. I drew some fruits, some greenery, and some plants. And this is just a kitchen I saw on Pinterest. I get inspired from Pinterest a lot. Also, one of my favorite spreads in the sketchbook, this is Bremena. It's an area in Mount Lebanon. It's very beautiful. I think I misspelled it. I think it's written with double M. This building is really beautiful. During the spring, it's all like flowery and it really looks like an explosion of flowers. I think I used mainly watercolor for this piece and I used gouache for the flowers. Okay, next we have another food illustration spread. I started this spread at my grandmother's house. She loves to see me drawing. I also had so much fun drawing these sauces, candies, jams. Next, we also have some Lebanese architecture. I believe all of these balconies and windows are in Beirut. I'm not sure. I collect a lot of Lebanese architecture on my Pinterest boards, so I always get inspired from them and I really want to do more art with them. Next is actually the last spread of the sketchbook. The sketchbook is not very thick. I didn't have a lot of papers to bind, but it has a bunch of things. I had some tiles and Arabic lettering. So yeah, this is the end of my sketchbook tour. I hope you enjoyed and got inspired maybe to do your own sketchbook. Also, stay tuned for the bookbinding tutorial and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Oh, and just a reminder, don't forget to connect with the universe.